Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? Shit's about to hit the fan. Welcome to Unsanctioned Thursdays on Wrestling with Freddie.
What's up, everyone? It's Thursday, or whatever day you're listening to us. It is Unsanctioned Thursdays. The name of the show doesn't change, and the hosts don't either. With me is Jeff Dye. I'm Freddie Prinze Jr. Let's start the show. All right, Jeff. I've promised an update, a weekly update on my wrestling promotion, and here we go. I'm actually going to read a text from my producers, and I might have, all right. Okay, so I have good news and bad news. So the first place I went to, although I already thought they were going to pass because it had been a while, the first place I went to passed, and I don't want to like bury them and put their name out there. So that's super disappointing. I'm legit just read that, you guys, and am reacting to this right now, so bear with me. So that's super disappointing and frustrating. Although I will say, in hindsight, and I may have even said this last week, they didn't ask a lot of the questions that you would get from someone who was excited about wrestling. They were much more basic and respectful questions, so maybe they were just being polite in taking the meeting. I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking it because I'm disappointed. The second place I went to, they asked a ton of questions, very, very specific questions. The text said, without saying too much, that they are leaning towards saying yes. So that's very much good news. I have another meeting after we record this, just a couple hours after we record this, actually, which is the third of 6. I haven't booked the final 2. So right now it's the third of 4, but we potentially have 6 places that we're going with it. And I haven't been nervous about the other 2 places, but I'm really nervous about this place. It's a bigger studio, so it's a harder sell. The smaller places have been the ones that have given me more love as far as wanting to hear the pitch. But I'm super, super nervous. I just don't want to screw it up. There's always a chance that you're in there with somebody who hates wrestling, and it's like you're not going to convince them, and you know it.
Right.
And then you just kind of like, it's got to be like doing a corporate gig, Jeff, where you're just like, these jokes aren't going to hit no matter what I do. I'm just going to get through it and go home.
Yeah. Yeah, you go, I know what I'm dealing with now, you know? You see that person looking at you like, oh, wrestling. And you go, oh, no.
Oh, dude, it's tough. It's happened before. I've tried to help other people with shows, and the studios just they don't respect it enough. You know, they respect that it can make money, but they don't respect it as an art form.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's tough. And I've beaten the drum so much in so many of these rooms. Like it's the literal blood, sweat, and tears on an actual canvas. How can you not see this? And they just don't always see it. But this last place I went to seemed to see it, even though they didn't know a lot about wrestling, but their knowledge of wrestling was respectful. So I'm really hopeful, really nervous, and really disappointed right now, all at the same time. And I don't know what to say.
It's like Ted Turner. When, like in his book, he was talking about like when he was telling TBS that he was going to bring wrestling to the network, like they all looked at him like he was crazy. And he's TBS, it is Turner Broadcasting, and they still were all looking at him like he's an idiot for wanting wrestling on the network. And they were like, "You're going to lose credibility." And there's a whole chapter like dedicated to like him being convinced that wrestling is something people will watch and like, and it's cool. And
yeah, so man,
it's got to be. It's very hard. It's an uphill battle trying to convince these people.
It is. It's easier when you're a billionaire to fight that fight, like Ted Turner. But I'm doing my damnedest, sir. I'm doing my damnedest. All right. I'm gonna forget about all this somehow, and let's talk AEW Dynasty. First and foremost, I want to talk about the Will Ospreay and Bryan Danielson match. All right, first things first, he did the move that he does on Instagram. I don't know if you've seen the Instagram algorithm where Will Ospreay flips off the top turnbuckle when someone's trying to flip him and lands on his feet, and they make his hair turn into like the anime hair and like he's glowing gold. It's like the coolest edit anyone's ever done. I had only seen it in that context. I had never seen the match that he did that in. So to see him do that flip, land it, and walk off so cool and so smooth to where I literally saw the aura glowing off him and the Super Saiyan hair and the music, the dun, 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 dun from Dragon Ball Z, that I saw it when it happened live. I dorked out so hard for this match. I was also cooking dinner for my family, made a little pancetta, diced pancetta in a pan. Then I chopped up some radicchio and some endive, which are just like some bitter greens. And I threw those in there and just let the heat from the pancetta kind of steam them. And then I threw all that shit onto some penne pasta. And it was like an awesome sauceless sauce, if that makes any sense. Anyway, while I'm doing that, Will Ospreay is putting on the sickest match, not that I've ever seen, okay, but that I can remember seeing in a really, really, really long time. Bryan Danielson is the friggin' man. He sells so hard. Both these guys sold really hard. But Will Ospreay has the crowd eating out of the palm of his hand. And I don't even want to talk about what's next for him just yet, because I thought this match was so special. And you could tell it meant a lot to both men because it looked flawless to me. I haven't like watched it twice or analyzed it, but it looked like a flawless match. Was this your match of the night?
Easily. But also, I want to let our listeners, since you're here at Unsanctioned, try to give you a little peek behind the curtain. All week, our great producer that I very often reference that's off camera, Alex, and Freddie, we're all in a text thread. And, I watch I cram watch wrestling. I'll watch it like on a Sunday night the whole week or whatever. Or like if I can, I'll watch Friday and then I'll watch, like the last stuff, sometimes even right before this podcast. But I love wrestling just as much, but my calendar is stupid and annoying. So sometimes I'll have to ignore all their texts because I'm like, all right, I don't want to know this stuff. Or sometimes I'll use it to cheat. Like, oh, what will I want to watch? Because they're very into it. They're very on the pulse. But you, my friend, have become quite the Will Ospreay fan. Like I've watched it happen in the last like few weeks. Like you're very, very. If you ran a federation, Will Ospreay would be your champ right now.
100%. 100%. I man crush on him so hard. I think he's amazing. I told you, I think he's Tom Hardy, but in a wrestler's body.
He's so awesome. I think if he was taller, he'd be the greatest wrestler of all. Like I think about him and MJF. Like if they were just like 6'7" or something, they would be like the biggest stars in wrestling maybe ever.
Jeff, imagine when those two go on the mic against one another.
It's going to be amazing.
You know what? I'm just like, if I know they give their guys breaks to heal up, which is awesome. But if Max doesn't come back soon, I can't wait. I cannot wait for. I don't know how you even book it, because when MJF comes back, he's going to want the world championship. That's Swerve Strickland. Congrats to Swerve Strickland on a great match with Samoa Joe and becoming the first African-American AEW world champion, which he said he wanted to do on this show. If you haven't heard that episode, go back and listen to it. The guy is awesome and we love Swerve, but I don't know who MJF goes after. Is it Ospreay? Is it Swerve? Is it Adam Copeland? Does he become the next TNT champ? Like there's 3 legit dudes that he could go after that I would be way interested in the story. Or does he deal with Adam Cole first, because it looks like Adam Cole is healthy and is going to be back wrestling again?
I don't know what they're going to do, but I got to say, MJF, get back to work. We miss you, buddy. And also, they've never needed you more over there. It is weird that you can't just have. There's been very rare overlap where WWE and AEW are just on fire. There's times where it's felt like, oh, WWE is really losing to AEW. And then out of nowhere, WWE shoots up and starts doing better stuff. And it seems like AEW's lagging. And then out of nowhere, Vince McMahon, gets caught doing a bunch of naughty things. And now AEW's back. And then CM Punk, and the footage that they're doing desperate things over at AEW, almost like they're kind of panicking a little because WWE's back in the forefront with Vince being gone. But it always seems like it's a ping pong back and forth of who's up and who's down. So get back to work, MJF. We need you bad over there. And as a guy that watches both of these wrestling things, we need you.
The good news is Tony's willing to invest in this business, and it's a young business, and you have to give your company time to fail before it succeeds if you can afford it. And he's one of the few people on earth that actually has that luxury where he can fail and learn from mistakes and get on the job training, which he has to get. And he has been for the last 5 years, 6 years now. But it's less than 10 years. So until he reaches double digits, it's a young show. With the stars they have, I mean, the three that we named, just Swerve, Will, and MJF, like just those three alone. I mean, imagine the stories and the matches that they can pull off together. So they have the talent. Now it's up to them to tell some long-term stories and make people not just go, wow, that's a great match or a 5-star match or whatever people say, but a reason to care about the match itself. Like give those men a reason to fight, and they'll be the ones on the high road while WWE starts to go down, or hopefully both can be great at the same time. But yeah, man, I love wrestling. The Rock kind of stole it from every podcast out there that's saying wrestling's cool again by saying wrestling's cool again. But that was a move that The Rock would make, so we can't get too mad at The Rock. But Jeff, any final thoughts, any final words on Unsanctioned? Do you want to tell the people where you're going to be this weekend? Do you want to just say F you to the people? I don't know what you want to do.
I just want to say I love wrestling, and I love that you guys are with us each week. It's been very exciting and very fun to hear the comments, read the tweets. We love you guys. Keep watching wrestling, keep listening to us, and we'll keep doing this.
And WWE, we trust your storytelling. AEW, come on, man. Give it to me. Give me that friggin' give Swerve a friggin' story and make it great. I'm Freddie Prinze Jr. That's Jeff Dye. This was Unsanctioned Thursdays. Peace.
This has been a production of iHeart's My Cultura podcast network. For more podcasts from iHeartRadio, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows.